E te iwi, e te ti, e te tā, rarau mai rā tēnā rā koutou katoa. Nau mai hara mai ki Kāputi me te kōrero. Ko wai au, ko manawaru te maunga, ko te ara e te awa, ko rua pani rongo whakaata Ngāti Pura o ku iwi, ko tama wai para tōku ingoa. No reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you for joining in, for tuning in to Kāputi and Kōrero. We're just getting together with some beautiful Māori musicians around the motu and tuning in to see what they've been up to during this rāhui. But before we do that, I'm going to ask my whanaunga Rob to lead us in karakia. Kei a koe te whanaunga.
Mōrena, kia ora e te whanaunga. Me te tautoko anō hoki ngā mihi ki te hunga e whakarongo ana, ngā mate o te wā, ngā whare mate o tēnā rohe, tēnei ka tangi atu. Kei inoe tātou. He honore korori ki te atu e maungarongo ki te whenua e whakaropai ki ngā tāngata katoa. E ihoe te wairua tapu e te kreiti, tēnei mātou ka inoe atuna ki a koe, i runga i te ngā kauwhakamoemiti. Mō ngā hua pai kua ho mai hia e koe ki a mātou roto i ngā rā. Me te inoe atu anō hoki ki a koe. Kia tautoringa matautoringa kaha. Ki runga ki tēnei whakaminenga, ki runga i tēnei Kaupapa Kōrero, i tēnei ata. Kia pērā anō hoki tō manaki tō cheki i ngā whānau e pōkai ka hāna i tēnei wā, huri no i te motu me te ao. Nā reira e ihoe tō mātou kai hanga hono a mātou oponanga ki te wairua tapu, ki te korori, ki te ngā kau tapatahi. Ia whakanui e koe runga i te ngā kau ripene tā me te whai atua no i a koe noho mai nā i runga i tautorona. Noho i hona koe pupuri mai nā te manakitanga mō mātou. Awhitia cheki no hoki o mātou tinana, o mātou wairua, o mātou kōrero, tō mātou wānanga ki ata mō hei mātou ko koe a i hoa korori ki tō ingoa tapu. Amen. Hei a koe whanau.
Oh, tēnā koe, Rob. I was hoping we might see those beautiful little kids of yours for a little waiata.
Yeah, well, they decided to take off to the beach, which is only just down the road from our whare. So, yeah, I think the beach won today.
Like any smart person would. Well, e te iwi, welcome once more to Kāputi and Kōrero. And this is brought to us by Creative New Zealand and APRA AMCOS. And really, it's just a chance for a group of Māori musicians to get together and talk about what they've been up to during this very, I don't want to call it unprecedented, because we've heard that many times, but very rereke time. And to start us off today, she really needs no introduction, because you know her, but hailing from Whakatāne and, well, spanning the world, really, multi-award winning, manu ti ori o te ao, my dear friend and all our mate, tēnā koe Maisie Rika.
Ngā mihi nui, tuatahi e mihi atu ana kia koe, e taku hoe Rob, nā haura i tūwhera tō tātou zui, tēnei rā, ngā mihi kia koe ua. Tēnā no tātou katoa. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou i raro i nā tuahuatanga o te wā, i raro i nā tū taumahatanga o te wā, i tēnei wā e ngau ana te ao, tēnei ma te krauna, o te tumanako e noho haumaru, e noho ora ana koutou, i roto i o koutou miru i te wā kāinga i tēnei wā. Nō reira e mihi aroha e mihi mai oha, e mihi mutunga kore kia koutou, tēnā no koutou katoa, tēnā no tātou. Aku hoa, whai hinewihi nā haura i tono mai kia mātou, kia noho tahi ki te wānanga, tēnā no koe e te māreikura. Kia koutou, kare kite i a koutou, ngari mōhio tonu kei muri koutou i a mātou e whakariterite ana, wairere, me koe hoki a Lydia, ngā mihi nui. O tira kia koutou, aku hoa, kai waiata, kai tito waiata, whakatangi puoro hoki, tama, Anna, Rob, Pere, Moana, Seth, Matthew, Ria, ngā mihi nui kia koutou. Nā kua no te honore, te noho, ki te wānanga i tō koutou taha. Nō reira, tēnā no tātou katoa. Ko ai au, he uri anō hau, no Ngāti Awa tūhoi, te whānau apunui, te arawa. Nō reira, ngā mihi nui. Well, first and foremost, I'd just like to say hello and welcome and thank you all for coming. Yeah, it's a trying time, But we'll all get through it together. So, yeah, kia kaha tātou. What have we been doing as a whānau in these times? Pretty much what everybody else has been up to. Eating heaps, cleaning up heaps, trying to keep the kids occupied. I think we ran out of Play-Doh and paint and PVA glue in the first week. So, yeah, it's been an ongoing thing. And trying to teach my big boy how to change a tire and cook his own eggs. So, yeah, it's been a good time. It's presented itself with challenges, but we've also had special times. So creatively, fortunately enough for me, my husband's been creative in the kitchen. So, yeah, we've been lucky in that aspect. But for me, as an artist, being able to steal a few days, not just moments, but days to get in this little area here. It's the studio. It's become quite a sanctuary to revisit songs. So I've been able to revisit songs. You know, I've been putting things off, but this time being able to get in there and, yeah, finish them off and demo them up and, yeah, go back to that. I think in times when I feel like the world is upside down, I kind of recede back into the past, I guess, and start writing about our own tipuna and start writing about our own stories. And yeah, so I've been able to do that just to ground me and stuff. So yeah, in these times, because it can get challenging at times, but hey, it's for the greater good. So yeah, being fortunate enough to be able to do that and send them off and do a bit of collaborating with Seth. So yeah, it's been an interesting time. But yeah, I mean, do you have any partais for me, Ihoa? I mean, you just jump in there whenever you want to. Just prompt me.
Well, I mean, to begin with, it's just lovely to hear you, Mace, and I think for a lot of people out there, just understanding for some of these tangata rongonui, that it's no different. That actually we're all dealing in the same ways with this time. You talked about revisiting your waiata and some of the songs and kaupapa that you've been revisiting. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Oh yeah, last year I wrote some waiata. I got really inspired. Actually, I got quite obsessed with this book by Rangi Mātamua about our matariki. So yeah, I ended up writing some waiata, but I just got really busy, as you do. So I was able to get stuck into a waiata called Waiti Waita, which is about the stars, Waiti Waita. Waiti, the star, to do with the fresh water, everything you can harvest from the fresh water, like the tuna and the trouts, and Waita, the star that pertains to everything you can harvest within the ocean. Yeah, so I was able to get back into that, because really at the forefront of all these waiata for me are our kids, and yeah, I was just wanting to contribute something towards that beautiful knowledge that's coming back thick and strong. So yeah, I was able to do that and send it off to the bro Seth. I think Seth will talk about that, but yeah, that sort of thing with your but then that just I don't know if everybody else feels like this, but sometimes you can do something and you think, oh yeah, another song's going to come up, and it doesn't, and it's something you can't really force, say. Yeah, so I ended up figuring out that I actually like writing about things. So it's all about maybe not necessarily writing songs, but being creative for me. So ended up, like I said before, receding back into stories about my own tipuna, especially when Anzac came up, and yes, I started writing about him. I had actually, my koro, I actually have been wanting to write about him for a long time, but just never had the time. But I had all the time this last week. So I was able to really reflect and, write about him. And writing about him and his struggles, because, he came back a different man from the war. It actually helped me stay sane, in this time. I think I prepared myself for the 2 weeks, and then it turned into 4 weeks. And then the 5th week, I was like, oh, gee, I need to do something, so he became my, writing about him became my sanctuary too. So as long as you're being creative, there's all these different ways in being creative, singing, songwriting, writing, making a mean cake in the kitchen, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, well, some of us don't need to make mean cakes in the kitchen. But,
you're allowed.
I'm enjoying seeing all your videos and photos. For anyone who's out there wanting to ask questions, we'll be gathering all those pātai and asking them at the end. We're going to head around our whānau now, and tēnā koe te tuahine I tōku oro pai, me ngā whakaro pai hoki. And over to this wonderful, fabulous, energetic, brilliant, creative innovator, and also, I believe, the youngest one here today. Pere te ruru o te ramana wihongi. Tēnā koe, Pere.
We got full names in here and everything. Kia ora rā e te iwi, tēnā rā atu kia koutou katoa. Wow, tuatahi kua kumihi kia koe, Rob, nā mi whakate arawhata ki te rungarawa. I taki nai ko te hariru a te ihu atua ki te ihu tangata. Mōhio tonu, kua kore ngā hariru me ngā hongi I tēnei wā, nā reira, mā te aho ki tēnei tatai tātou ki te rungarawa. Nā reira ngā mihi kia koe, Rob. O tira, ka karere tonu ngā mihi kia rātou kua wehe atu. Ngā mate pō au tini o te wā, o te wiki o te marama, ngā hua kua puta I tēnei mate, o tira rātou kua ngaro I tēnei wāhanga, kua ku whakaro nui ki ngā whānau pani, I tēnei wā, kua kore wātea ki te tukutika, I o rātou whanaunga, nā reira e whakaro nui ana ki a rātou kua pāngia e te mate. Rātou kia rātou, o tira tātou te hunga ora kia tātou. Nōku tonu te waimari, te māngari me ki. Te noho tahi me koutou aku tino iho pū manawa I roto I te ao puoro Māori. Ia o koutou kua tau ki taku ngākau. A koutou waiata, ngā kupu, ngā reo waiata, kua tino tau ki taku ngākau, me aku mahi katoa, nā reira, e mihi nui ana kia koutou aku hoa, e whakakanohi nei tēnei kaupapa. O tira ngāri me ngā waiwai o tēnei kaupapa I tūai, ko tēnei o ngā pae kōrero, e tuku atu ai ko ngā whakamāramatanga o te ao, puoro Māori nei. Nā reira, koe nei tonu ko te mihi a te ngākau whakaiti kia koutou katoa. Ngā kai hāpai tēnei kaupapa o tira, kia koutou e te iwi e mātakitaki ana I ngā kai ngā puta noa. Tēnei rā te tautoko ake I ngā mihi kua tukuna. Kia huitahi tātou, nau mai tāne te wānanga, nau mai ngā kōrero, e ea ai ngā mahi, e ea ai ngā wawata a kui a koroma, o tira ngā hia a tēnei o a tātou a tino hapori o te ao Māori a rā te hapori waiata. Nā reira, tēnei ka mihi ake e hoa mā. Thank you very much, Tama. I'm very appreciative that you've actually even said my whole name. Pere te ruru o te rāmana. It's actually a bit of a tongue twister to some, but I'm very grateful that for the efforts. Hui anō, ko koe tonu te kai whakataki I a tātou. Mōhio tonu ahau, he mahi taumaha tēnā, nā reira, Tama. Ko koe tonu te rangatira o runga I tēnei o ngā marae, nā reira e tikana kia mihia koe. Hoi anō, tika tonu kua au te tai o ngā pōtiki o tēnei o ngā whānau, me taku tino whakahihi. Taku tino whakahihi I te mea, ko tāku, mōhio tonu ahau, I ngā hua ka puta I te whakaaweawe. I have been touched, growing up in Aotearoa, of course, I've been touched by every single one of these artists that are included in this video conference, lyrics, tunes, vocals, and so I'm actually a bit stoked that I'm included in this wānanga. And I think that right there has been one of my missions going throughout this lockdown process. The same feeling that I've felt as a rangatahi growing up in Aotearoa, listening to the music produced by these artists is the same feeling that I want to produce. And so I can't help but be grateful that I'm included. And of course, it's a subtle reminder to haere tonu me ngā mahi. Tama, you've always been someone who's been quite staunch and thorough in your direction. And I've appreciated it so much because, I mean, of course, there is that filtered world of daisies and butterflies and rainbows and everything like that, but it is giving the raw and authentic kōrero and direction. And I think that's something that I've been finding hard in this COVID process in my own creativity, is how to really compose and create authentic to myself, that doesn't filter out so it seems so PC, but is still quite uplifting and straight there. So yeah, tautoko hoki ana I ngā mihi, I ngā kōrero a Macy. Things that have been keeping me creative have been baking. So I've been going into that kihini and I've been cooking my flatmate some kai, bringing out the inner Martha Stewart. Atu I tēnā. I've also been clearing out my wardrobes and I've got bags of clothes to give away now. So it's been a good reset, I guess, in my own personal home and lifestyle. And then other than that, it's also I've been making an effort to learn more poi. And so I've been doing my watching downs of groups and replaying and trying to, I guess, hone in on my poi performance craft. And I think for my particular mahi, it's been around, obviously, because kapahaka, there's been an effect on, I guess, Māori performing arts, with competitions being delayed and festivals as well. And so a lot of my composition mahi has been focusing in on mahi kapahaka as well. So yes, that's pretty much been what's happening. Kei tāmaki makaurua hau. I've been trying my very best to not burst other people's bubbles and staying home and, being good. And so I've only been to New World twice. So I'm going crazy now. I'm ready for it to all lift up. But yeah, things like this actually keeping me sane. Hui anō koe nā kōrero. Mena he pātai rālei tam. If you have any questions, tukuna mai, please.
Oh, well, I feel like I'm the junior here because, I know how skilled you are in all media. So it's beautiful to hear your prowess shining through, I suppose. Have you been out making video content as well? Because I know you're a highly visual person and you're always tweeting. See that I'm showing my age now. TikToking. That's how you spell it, eh?
I love it. Ko te mea nui ko te ngana. Ko te ngana nā reira, e mihi ana ki tō whakaaro nui. Yes, no, I have. I've been trying to, stay updated, stay relevant to our rangatahi. And a huge lot of them are on TikTok. And, I feel like I'm the kaumātua on the TikTok going through everyone's things and seeing all these tamariki kura Kaupapa as well, because they're typing in on me videos and everything like that. But it's been awesome, another platform to engage with our rangatahi, if anything, knowing that quite a lot are there. However, you're right in terms of creating our own video content, and I guess with my more music as well, we've just finished coming out of a whole production round that we've been doing within the last, must be 3 or so months. And so we've been tasked with a mammoth project to, I guess, produce an album and also the visuals, the video clips with them. And we were lucky to have Rob and Macy come on and support our members in that and help develop our members. Of course, they've got My More Music as our but it was really about focusing in on our individual crafts. And so we were lucky that we went through the whole production within the last few months. And actually the debut of this kaupapa coincided exactly on the first day of lockdown. And so that kind of that kind of kaupapa has been going out now every Thursdays. We've been trying our best to release waiata, and we made a dedication also to ensure that they're also waiata reo Māori, knowing of course a lot of our whānau, we've got heaps of friends and communities who are trying to, I guess, bring their tamariki up with Māori music as well, their Māori language homes. And so it's really just offering other resources to help them and give a variety. I think that's one of the main things that kōrero that's come back to us with my moa and creating our singles. So because we've had to create them ourselves and obviously funding them ourselves, and so now we finally get support. We've got support, and we're able to release a variety of options for the iwi and for our whānau out there. And so that's been one of our kaupapa that we've been honing in on. Of course, Stay was another kaupapa, and I see familiar faces on this kaupapa as well. And that was a huge challenge because I don't know how to work the garage band and the microphone. So yeah, girl learned after that kaupapa. And so yeah, it was recording it all at home and even just the filming. But it's subtle kaupapa like that have been that have continued to inspire and encourage, I guess, perpetuating this.
Well, it's encouraging to hear someone like you, who I think of as having a real mastery of visual media and understanding how to get a message out on social media and these kinds of platforms, that even you had to learn new things around this environment that we're in. So tēnā koe, Pere. I'm just mindful that we're going to get round the motu, but sticking with Stay, of course, our next kai tito waiata had a big part in that. She's a wonderful singer-songwriter, someone I'm a big fan of and love her music. And we're going to cross back up to the loft to taku hoa. Tēnā koe, Anna Coddington. Kia ora.
Tēnā koe hoa. Tēnā koutou, ko tongariro te maunga, ko taupōnui atia te moana, ko te arawa te waka, ko Ngāti Tūwharetoa me Tarawanga iwi, ko waihi te marae, ko Anna Coddington ahau. Kei te tautoko au I ngā mihi kua mihia, e koutou, e oku hoa, ka reo e tō ai I ngā mihi katoa, engari kia koe tama, kia koe Rob, kia kōrua koutou, kua kōrero. Yeah, I'll try and keep it a little bit concise, but ngā mihi kia koutou e whakarongo mai I tō mirumiru. Kia ora to everybody listening in. And yeah, I guess for me, I feel like I feel very honoured to be part of this zānanga, this online wānanga, because my start in music was not really from within what we traditionally think of as the Māori music scene. I feel like I've been on the outskirts and I'm slowly circling my way in like this, which is, just a real joy to me to be doing that. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I've been doing music for a long time, and I feel like this rāhui, this lockdown has come at a really interesting time for me creatively and personally. I'm currently mixing my fourth album, and I was writing it for a long time over the last few years and recording it, tracking it with my friends right up until we kind of went into all this business. So I feel lucky that I was able to get all the tracking done, and then now I'm able to kind of listen to the mixes and feedback. But it's been great because a lot of the album has been about kind of being a parent and being a creative, or being a parent and being anyone, and trying to find that balance between, wanting to give everything to your whānau, but wanting to give everything to your art, to your mahi, whatever. And I think that's probably a fine balance for most people, and it's something I found really difficult. So I was trying to really tap into that and be honest, and also how all that ties in with my Māoritanga, because having children has been the catalyst for me to go back and study te reo, do night classes and that. I've sent them to Kohanga, and now my big boy's in a Rumaki class at Richmond Road School, doing full immersion te reo schooling. So that's all creeping into my music now as well. And what this lockdown has been for me is like, it's kind of made it really clear in a way, because it's just me and my partner and our kids at home. That's it, you know, like, so it's been a real, and I've loved it. I've actually really, really enjoyed that. And we've been doing same as everyone else, just painting and making stuff out of cardboard boxes, and baking is not my comfort zone, I gotta say. It's like not my comfort zone at all, but we've made two batches of Anzac biscuits in the last 2 days and eaten them all. And yeah, just kind of getting creative in all of those ways. And I guess my musical creativity has been, I've been lucky to have projects like Stay, which we talked about, and your vocals sounded mean, by the way, Pere. They sounded really, really great. And yeah, so that was a cool project for a week, and I did a live stream for another kaupapa that was fundraising for Music Helps, and I've done...
Can you tell us a little bit about that, about the Music Helps kaupapa?
Oh, yeah, sure. Good point. It's a charity which was set up to, because obviously the music industry has been one of the hardest affected by COVID-19, because we can't have any gatherings, and how do we all make our money mostly these days? Well, it's from playing gigs, and we can't have any, you know. So within that one moment, everyone in the whole music industry had all their future gigs cancelled, postponed. So friends of mine, world tours gone, you know, lots of people's big gigs that they had coming up were suddenly off the table. And it's not just the artists, it's all the people that work behind the scenes as well, lost their income. So a big range of people found themselves out of work and out of pocket. So Music Helps is to total call all of those people, financial support, but also I think they have, you know, like just more kind of emotional support options and stuff like that as well.
And so the website for that, for those of you who are tuning in, is musichelps.org.nz. And also, if you're not, you know, obviously it's a resource there for artists and musicians, but if you're just wanting to support artists and musicians now, it's a really great way you can do that. Yeah, definitely. Can you talk us through your little flash setup there? Because it looks pretty cool. You got heaps of gear, and you know, I think for some of our
some gear, yeah.
Some of our musos out there who are just
studio in it's a real mess. I would have tidied it up if I thought anyone was going to see it. But yeah, this is where I do my mahi from. So I as well as being a kind of an artist, I've been trying to position myself as more of a behind the scenes person as well, because I really love writing, I love producing and doing all that kind of stuff. So I've been trying more and more to do more writing for other artists. I recently did the soundtrack for a TV show that's going to come out soon. So yeah, I kind of set my laptop up here and got my drum kit in the back, got a bass. It's a real mess. My guitar, this is my guitar. This is my baby, my other baby. So when it's normal times, I would spend my days up here while my kids are at Kohanga and Kura. But for now, I've just been coming up when I can. There's not been a lot of creative time for me. But little kaupapa like this have kept me ticking along and, you know, kept my brain active and kept me engaged, which I feel really lucky for.
Oh, tēnā koe Anna. We're just getting some really cool questions coming in, so keep those coming in whānau. We're going to carry on through our kai waiata just to see who they are and where they're up to and what they're up to, and then we'll come back and ask some of those questions, so keep them coming in. So tēnā koe Anna, staying in Tāmaki actually, but heading to the Wild West, and I said earlier that he had the best shirt on in our zānanga Zaputi Zorero. Tēnā koe te.
Kia ora e hoa mā, ko se tāpui tēnei, uri tēnei no Ngāti Porou, te atu haunui a pāparangi e tūwhare toa. It's lovely to see you all. I must admit, I might have taken the social distancing thing a bit too seriously, and it kind of mirrors my normal reality, which is often spent alone. I'm a bit of a lone wolf at heart. But one thing I've really loved about the rāhui is that it's encouraged me to just really spend a lot of time with my whānau, and what time would have gone on mahi has now really been invested into watching our youngest daughter grow. I feel like every day she's developing and doing something new, learning a new phrase each week. So that's been really beautiful to watch life grow during this time. For me, that's been probably the most special thing about the rāhui. And in terms of music, I must admit the first week was probably just really about reflecting and taking on board everything that we were learning about the pandemic. So there wasn't too much creativity happening then, but I was really lucky. Our friend Mace reached out. She had a beautiful waiata that she had written, waiti, waita, and she had asked if I'd collaborate with her on that. And so it got my kind of creativity flowing again. And what I loved about it, other than the kaupapa, about matariki, being a resource for knowledge, is the inspiration from the natural environment. I think being Māori, that's something that we've always done, and another way to get creative if in your own world that it doesn't feel that those creativity moments are happening. So that was really fun. That was really cool to work on something that wasn't my own, but really connect with Mace in that song. And I spent some nights out under the stars and just kind of took that in. So even being more present and being more aware of what's around us has been a really special thing to be reminded of. So thank you, Mace. Ngā mihi ahoa.
Well, that might be a good opportunity for us to hear a waiata. How are we feeling over in that whakatane bubble? Do we feel like we can have a sample of waiti, waita?
Oh, yes, please.
Just while Maze is getting her guitar set up. So, Seth, I mean, what people may not know is that apart from also being a songwriter, performer, that you also produce a lot of other artists, and you've worked with some really huge names, people like Stan Walker and Vince Harder and Sons of Zion, actually behind the scenes as well, writing, co-writing, engineering. What have been some of the learnings around how you make music during this time?
I think that what I've learned through collaboration is, I think whakawhanaungatanga is really important, and maintaining and respecting everyone's mahi. So maintaining those even in this time that we can't actually connect kanohi to kanohi, but just because it's a very special process, I find, especially the early creative stages where people are beginning to form their ideas and they're sharing whakaaro that's very close to them. I love that part because there is a level of intimacy that's required. So that still maintains even now.
And what's it like for your whānau when you disappear down the rabbit hole in the in the studio world and you're sitting with your, I know I've seen that beautiful daughter of yours climb in when you're trying to make. How do you work around that?
I just let her join in, to be honest. And it's in some of the recordings you can probably hear her singing. But I think it's important that our children are able to be a part of our creative process too. And I know that she has a real love for waiata, for music. So I think nurturing that is important. So yeah, she's all good. But she's fast asleep now, yeah.
Oh, she's missing out. Maybe she'll wake up and come and join in. Well, speaking of waiti waita, we're just gonna head over back to whakatane to our sister Maisie, who's gonna give us a beautiful.
Ke te rongo mai?
Aye.
It's making me nervous. Waiti waita. Wai ora gi, wai re re, wai hawa. tapu ai noa wai aroha waiti waiata he wai morua vetu ai waia wai nui wai noa wai tai wai rata wai muri wai aroha waiti waiata he wai morua vetu ai waia I'll just leave it there for now.
Oh, kārawe. Tēnā kōrua, tēnā kōrua. There were some very eager people to hear some waiata. And don't worry, whānau, we will be coming to that. We just want to get around and hear from all our songwriters to start with. But tēnā koe Maisie, waiti waita. Okay, now we're heading over to Tauranga Moana, to my dear friend Ria. Ria has been very active. Some of you might have seen her latest album, Manawa Wera, but maybe what you don't know is that Ria is also the brand new artistic director of Tauranga Arts Festival. So, you know, not content to be a successful singer-songwriter, performer, mum, Ria is also heading up the new arts festival, which is very exciting in Tauranga. So, tēnā koe te tuahine.
Tēnā koe taku hoa o tira koutou katoa, e aku hoa i roto i tēnei ao e noho nei tātou, te ao tōro, nei rā hau, ka noho whakaiti nei mua i tō koutou nā aroaro i tēnei watonu, i runga i te mea he maha hoki o koutou nā pūkenga ko whakawhāriki hia ki mua i te aroaro, nā reira nā tēnei ngā kau whakaiti ki a koutou, tēnā koutou. O tira e te hunga e whakarongo maina, e tūhono mai ki tēnei kaupapa a tātou, tēnā koutou mō kua whai wā koutou ki te hono mai, te whakarongo mai kia mātou o tēnei tira me ki. Nā reire, mihi ana ki a koutou katoa. Ko wai ahau, ko rea hōtoku ingoa, ko maua o te maunga, ko te awanu i te moana, ko Ngāitirangi, ko Ngātirangi Nui, ko Ngāti Pūkenga Ngaiwi, ko Māta Atua, ko Takitimu Ngā Waka, e mihi atu ana ki a koutou. Well, firstly, it's so good to see you guys. So good to be in such beautiful company. And I just want to pay homage to you all. Moana, Machu, Seth, Mace, Rob, Pere, Anna, Tama. It's always a blessing to be able to see you in person, but to be able to see you in this space, the space that we now encompass, it's made my day. So it's nice to be in such beautiful company. What have I been up to? Well, if I'm going to be real, I've been hitting the wall. The other Friday in particular, man, I hit a big wall because I went into isolation a little earlier. I got quite māwiwi after WOMAD in Taranaki and had to get tested for COVID. Luckily. And
what date was WOMAD? Because that must have been one of the last big concerts that happened.
Yeah. So the 13th to the 15th of March. So we were in Taranaki as an observer, with my Tauranga Arts Festival pōtai on. And so, pretty much went into isolation as soon as I got back on the Monday. And so this is my 6th week of being in a bubble. So it has been very challenging, especially with a young boy who is keen to socialise and mix and mingle, and I can't offer that to him. And I'm sure all our mātua are feeling the same way in some kind of way. But creatively, it's really made me, hitting the wall has really made me become quite introspective. And I wear a number of pōtai as a mentor, as an artistic director now, as a singer, as a songwriter, as a performer, as a business owner. as we all do. So trying to navigate and balance all of those energies out, during this time has been interesting. It's been really interesting. So in terms of introspection, I've really been reflecting. I haven't been writing, but I've been really, really reflecting on my own authenticity and what that looks like in this current space. So I've really been having a look and trying to tap into things that have kind of had a profound impact on me, coming into this part of my life. So I think what this lockdown has provided is that opportunity for us to kind of, for me to have a look at what really is priority and what actually matters in the greater sense of everything.
What have been the things that have foremost come through for you in that sense?
Well, clearly my boy, obviously my whānau, my boy.
Your boy who turns 1 today.
Yeah, so he's 1 today. So a huge milestone because I didn't think I could have any children. So that's a huge achievement for me, the biggest achievement. And then, of course, like looking at my own kind of creativity and just being okay with not being cool, like being okay with not being okay 100% of the time. Like,
I think it was, I tuned in like many people did for your broadcast when you were just explaining actually where and how you were feeling.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of our people, just knowing that that's normal, that it's actually okay to feel like that, to feel, last Wednesday I had a day where everything failed. I had to record a song for Māori TV's Anzac Day coverage and, like old dog, new tricks, fail.
I hear you. Just being okay with that and kind of sitting in that and being like, okay, this has humanized me. This has humanized me more, and it's made me really sensitive to everything, the goings on outside of my house. Like just out here, we've got a water stretch of water, estuary. And the silence has just been phenomenal because I've been able to tap into our bird life and, in the middle of tauranga. It's been an incredible time to reset. And I've been trying to take that on board as I reset myself. Okay, so our taiao is starting to reset. Well, that's a good time for us to reset and humanity to reset. And hopefully we are rebirthed into some other kind of state where capitalism and, that isn't at the forefront of the whakaaro. What's at the forefront of the whakaaro is aroha te tangata ki te tangata, me tana taiao, all of those kinds of things. So, I'm still sitting in that space, as you can see. You can probably tell I'm still thinking about all those things, but it's been really, really powerful to ruminate in that space. It really, really has.
And I've noticed you've also put the tono out for information on on electronic gear to record with, which I imagine
old dog, new tricks, fail.
I imagine a lot of people are looking at what the opportunities are, creatively, and maybe some having not just the knowledge but also the means to access a Zoom account or a Logic Pro Tools software. So just what are some of the ways you have found that do work for you?
I'm a tohunga on GarageBand, so I've always kind of tutted with GarageBand. Any kind of means necessary that I have at my disposal, I use to record or write, or if I'm on the go, just anything to capture an idea, anything to capture a thought. So just anything at one's disposal. However that looks for people in their own specific, whatever they have. And I think it's really important to draw on your own resource too, because we may not have all the flash gears, but we do have our own resource. Like a pen and paper is a resource, things that aren't too costly, because it's a thing now, you know, we're all financially impacted by this kaupapa, so we have to think about those things really, really deeply. And I've been ruminating on all that stuff too. So yeah, koe anō. Kua matuaka paupau.
O, tēnā koe te tuahine. Bouncing over to, I think you're in Auckland, but this next singer-songwriter, composer, performer will be a familiar face to many as the frontman of 660. Here in Tūranganuiākiwa, he's particularly famous for the waiata kia mau ki tō ukai pō, possibly even more so than its English original. It is a regular fixture in our neighbourhood. I hear it playing at 2 a.m. I hear it playing at 3 a.m. I hear it playing at 12 p.m, sometimes from the same 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Hoi anō, kia koe te rangatira. Tēnei te mihi atu kia koe, Matthew Walters.
Oh, kia ora everybody. My phone on silent so it doesn't do that. Good to see you all. A pleasure to be on this talk. Thank you so much, Henewehi, for considering me worthy of the conversation. My name is Matthew Walters, 1/5 and lead singer of the mighty 660. I represent the North, my family, Ngā Pui Te Rāroa, Te Aupōuri. I represent the South, my family also from Dunedin, and proud of my Scottish heritage. So I'm a true product of New Zealand and born and raised in central Auckland. So you mix that all together. And I'm a proud representative of Aotearoa and all those fortunate enough to be born of its land. So thank you very much. It's a weird time, as everyone knows. I have to be straight up. A lot of the time, it sucks, to be honest. No way to live. You know, a lot of our freedom has been taken away for an obvious, worthy reason, but you can't escape the suckiness. I miss my family. I miss my friends. I miss my band members, and I miss sharing music, which is the thing that caused me to fall in love with it in the first place, being able to sing together, play together, share your ideas. So that's been particularly hard for me personally. But on the flip side, I'm very appreciative for the opportunity that this time has had. I've been able to incubate and realizing that everyone's in the same boat and we're all suffering in the same way. The first week I wasted time on being sorrowful. And now I recognize opportunity. I'm slowing down. I'm just spending time with music and enjoying being present rather than, focusing on a destination. And the time, as some of you have said, gives you opportunity to reflect, self-reflect, and, dissect all your processes and how you view the universe and how you go about work and life and love. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate that time. It allowed me the time to strip away all the BS that can build up over time and realize that music is just, it's just something I love doing, and I do it because it makes me happy. Yeah.
Actually, there's quite a few pātai here for you, and I might jump into some of these if that's all right with you.
Okay.
Someone here says, Matu, the Waiata Anthems album was off the chain. Tēnā koe Henewehi. Would you consider doing a full Te Reo Māori album, even if it's all of 660 songs redone?
Anything's possible. Now, that's true more than ever, because I never thought it would be possible, to be honest, that would be included in an album like that, or that the song would do so well, and that would be welcomed in, because I don't speak Māori, though I consider myself of having a Māori upbringing in spirit. That growing up, that caused a lot of issues with identity, because I was Māori to everyone else, but I couldn't speak the language, so a lot of time I didn't feel worthy of being a part of something like this. So I'm very appreciative of Henewehi and her guidance and taking us along on that journey. So those doors are very well firmly open I know that the whole band wants to represent and include Māori music in some way, shape or form. I've got no idea right now how that will like reveal itself, you know.
Oh, tēnā koe. And you heard it here first, e te iwi. And I think you make some really poignant and important points. You know, e kore au e ngaro, I rui a mai te kākano I rangi Aotearoa. That, you know, our musical world as Māori is vast, and it is inclusive, and it's not defined by one thing. And for many of our musos who are out there listening in and thinking, am I part of that? Well, you know, whakapapa is whakapapa. So, tēnā koe, Matthew. I'm just going to skip along because we want to get to some of these pātai, and then I know that people are hanging out for some songs. Heading out to Muriwai, to, well, this wahine Tino Rongonui has been very busy at iwi. She has been hosting the nation regularly in her side gig as a journo. Our answer to Oprah.
Shut up. You hear that?
Yes, we all heard that. Tēnā koe moana. Thank you for joining us today. We know you're very busy.
Kia ora. Ngā mihi kia koe e hoa, e te rangatira, kia koutou e te whānau. Kia koe hene wihi mo tō tono mai kia hau. Me tino pai ki te kite o koutou kanohi, ngā whetū. Ki te rongo ki o koutou whakaro I tēnei wā tino ua mō tātou katoa nō reira, tēnā koutou. Thanks for having me here. Sorry I've been nipping in and out. It's a real pleasure. Actually, I started my day off because my daughter is doing a project on how art contributes to our well-being. So we had to start off having this discussion, and it's in Māori, so, you know, he wero nui tēnā kia hau. What is the value of art? What is art? How can art lift your well-being? What are examples of how art in all its entirety can help your spirit, you know, soar and fly? So we talked about the Raukatauri Music Therapy School. We've talked about kapahaka in visual arts. So that seemed to be quite a nice way to start the day in kind of, you know, segue into this kōrero. I think I've turned into a bit of an alky. Like every night I have a wine. My days are very full, and they are full of doing my show. It's quite a big undertaking, and yeah, it's huge. And I have we did a show last week. Oh, sorry.
No.
Did I freeze or did you freeze?
No.
Their thing is useless out here, I tell you.
I just shushed. I was going to ask Moana because, you know, you're someone who's been so proactive with their music and prolific with your recordings and releases. Now that you've got this new... Well, it's not new. You've worked in film and television, often behind the scenes as a director and a producer, documentary filmmaker for many, many years. Now that you're in this other space of presenting, and given that, as you say, it does require all these other demands of your time, how has that impacted your creative space and space to create?
It's all a bit nuts because I still want to try and do everything. So that's why I have turned into a bit of an alky at night. And I've watched movies every night to help me relax. But I've tried to be useful. So I see my platform on Māori television as a way to help people join the dots. And so, you know, last week we did this thing on Māori, on arts, how the arts has been impacted. You know, and my heart sort of went out to all the artists I know whose living is reliant on live performances, because that's always been my thing. We barely got played on radio. So it's gigs around the world that help, ticket sales and merchandise. That's always been where I've got most of my income, as well as the biggest buzz. So, I've had gigs blown out too, and potential overseas trips just disappeared down the Googler. So, that's no fun for anyone. So we explored that in my program last week, and it's not just musicians, it's visual artists, it's moko artists, it's dancers and choreographers. So there's the whole of the arts has been impacted, and it was good to hear from Creative New Zealand that they've reprioritised something like $16 million or something to help support artists. In my little space, it's been so full on. I was running away during this because I'm trying to organise a music video. So how stupid is that? So we've done a couple of music videos in lockdown. I had this artist up in Toronto. I'm saying, oh, she's a guest vocalist. Can you go out on the road? It'll be nice and quiet. Can you bust out a lockdown, get them to take some footage of you, just look really cool, and we'll squash it all together. Well, knock me down. There she did it. So, still trying to do those things and look at working with Paddy on soundtracks for another project. So there's not a lot of downtime, and I appreciate the fact that working in current affairs has given me an opportunity to hear from a lot of different people. We use Blinder, which is really cool. We can record things, and I get to ask questions of Māori and some Pākehā from all different walks of life, and understand some of the big political decisions that have been made and how we all fit into it. So, I feel pretty privileged. I did get a 1 out of 1,000 from my daughter for being a useless school teacher. But I just think, Jesus, I'll cut myself a break there. And I'm doing exercise. I'm going around the block. I'm walking up these bloody 625 stairs every day with my son as we try and solve the world, problems of the world. I've got my son here. He's not always the tidiest. And I've got my daughter, and I've got my partner, and we're still getting a blooming TV show to air. So, I consider myself to be really blessed. I went to the local supermarket. I felt like I was going out clubbing, as I was wandering up and down the aisles. It's like, geez, this is my life. This is our life. Isn't that unbelievable to get excited to go to a supermarket?
Yes, well, and I know a lot of people have been not just excited, but actually nervous to step out of their bubbles and go about some of these seemingly everyday things that under this current situation are just entirely new. Moana, there's a pātai here in this also for Matu about participating in the international scene and the success that you've had there. One of the questions is, what are 3 tips in deciding to go global? And maybe if you can answer with 2 heads, one that is pre-COVID and one that is post-COVID, which might be a bit tricky, but anei te pātai.
Yeah, well, I'll be really short, because I think the first thing is to have a really great manager, someone who can represent you and knows how to lock into different networks overseas. That's the biggest thing. The other thing is that it's always changing. The environment changes. People come and go. Festivals and events come and go. What was there 5 years ago might not be there anymore. And there's lots of competition. My band was, we could slot into anything. We'd land up at the Montreux Jazz Festival, and I'm like, we're not jazz. My manager go, you are tonight. You don't have to do jazz, but you need to be diverse, but you also need to identify your own sound and stand proudly behind it and be authentic. I think that word came out before. Don't believe your own publicity. Be nice to people on the way up. You can meet the same ones on the way down. And that's about it, really. Machu's the one. He's bloody flash.
Oh, that's a good segue. Kei au koe, Matu.
I don't know about deciding to go international. I think whatever it is you're doing, you should do it with the intention of as many people hearing and be as fearless as possible. So I'd say whatever you're doing, I would have international intentions. I want it to go as far as possible. Management definitely helps, surrounding yourself with people that you trust. And I would say that you need to learn to love the process of creating music rather than getting hooked on the results, if that makes sense. Staying present, whatever you want to call it. It's difficult to pin things down, but I guess at the bottom all, just keep going, never stop, never give up. If that's something you really want, then no limitations, no age, no whatever hurdles you think you have, just never stop until you've got it. Yeah.
Beautiful advice, whānau. So I'm going to head back to our minita mo te rā, over to the thriving metropolis of Te Kaha, taku whanaunga hoki, who has been very busy. I've seen this activity every day. I have been watching the menu with great interest, including the latest batch of Feijoa tonic. Tēnā koe te tuakana.
Kia ora whanaunga, tēnā anō hoki koutou, i ngā hoa. Tēnā anō hoki koutou whakarongo mai ana. Yeah, it's choice here in Te Kaha, but I'm sick of this damn bubble. Yeah, because tried the other day talking about posts about Kai and stuff. The other day we tried to blink in our own KFC, but you know how a KFC goes, eh? When you have a KFC, you can smell it for like 3 blocks down the road. Yeah, well, that didn't happen here, so we thought, that's a bit of a bad sign here. So one was having more and more hours about his KFC, but actually there's a better chicken place, which is why I'm ho-ha with this damn bubble. And in Awakiri on the way from from Whakatane to Rotorua, there's this place called Awakiri, and over there, man, that's the best fried chicken anywhere. It'll smoke KFC anyway. Yeah, other than more hours about one's diet or lack thereof, it's been mean. It's been mean here in Te Kaha, because we're locked in a bubble anyway. Doesn't matter if it's imposed, self-imposed or not. That's just the nature of things here in Whanaopuni. We go on our own time when we think it's reasonable to do things. Then that's what we do. But just want to mihi to everyone's kōrero about creativity and trying to get the cogs turning. Probably last year, things got really mad in terms of doing things for music, and my first passion is writing and creativity. Doing things creatively, and then if I had my way, I'd never do a gig in my life. I'm an introvert by nature, and I love being at home. I love being in my bubble. I love being behind the scenes, and that's my love space. And so being in this bubble has prolonged my creative pause that I decided to initiate last year. And what that meant was, just kind of like chop off all the live gigs or cut them back to like the least amount that I actually need to do, or kaupapas that I actually feel really, really passionate about doing and being and engaging with, just so that I could connect creatively with my creative self again in the place where I think is my power space. And so I was doing this thing of one creative thing a day, and it could be anything. And with the arts thing that Moana's talking about, we've been having these wānangas in our hapu o te whānau Pararaki about what is art, and is it better to just use the label creatives, because that includes gardening, that includes cooking, that includes my Auntie Queenie's mean-ass sponge cake, which I am longing for at this present time. But it includes everything, table settings at the marae. My Auntie Eri at whānau Kauaitangi here down at the Cape. You go in to have a kai down there, and it might be just stew and potatoes, but it'll be the flashiest looking stew and potatoes in the world. You know, that's creativity. And so been doing this practice for just over a year now of one creative thing a day, and it could be anything, colouring in. My wife and I, we're both weavers as well, so we've been hooking back into making pew again, and weaving again, painting with the kids, bottling fijoas, doing a whole heap of stuff, and it's opening gates for the other things that I'm really passionate about, which is about writing music as well. So it really helped when me and Anna and brother Joel and Brad Cora jumped on this kaupapa to write the Stay Waiata. It's been really helpful for other kaupapas that I've been a part of. When I was a part of
a partai here from someone about that, who says, and I'll ask it to you, but also knowing that some of our other composers in this kōrero could answer as well. The question is, when composing collectively in isolation with your beautiful waiata tūtahi Stay, what were some of your challenges? And then conversely, what were some of the beneficial differences while you're in this rāhui state? So challenges and the benefits.
I think benefits for me, and Anna can jump in whenever you want to, my sister, and the rest of the whānau too, because I don't think it applies to Stay. I mean, Maisie and brother Seth have been going through similar collaborations as well, and no doubt all of our whānau in some way, shape or form. But the benefits for me was the safety of my kāinga, and being able to contribute, I guess, at the highest potency that I could, from the safety of my home. Everything around me is familiar. I draw energy from every part of this kāinga, not just the four walls that I live within, but, you know, Kāta nui, the maungas behind me, I can see the moana nui a toi ki wahora, I can hear the wind, all of those kind of things. So it was that was me. The challenge, I guess, for that particular project was time. Yeah. And there was lots of time pressures there, and so going into creative spaces, I mean, trying to deal with really super tight turnaround, that was the biggest challenge.
Yeah. I've just muted to say, because I know that Rob probably won't say it himself, but it was actually Rob that came up with the original idea for that song Stay. So we had one Zoom hui like this at about 8 p.m. at night, and then I woke up the next morning and he'd sent this idea to all of our inboxes. He'd stayed up to 4 o'clock in the morning writing it. So I think that really speaks to your potency in your space, and B, the tight turnaround. It's like, okay, we need to make a song in 1 week. I'm going to stay up till 4 a.m. I'm going to write the song and send it out. So he wrote kind of a verse and the chorus, and then we took those and ran with them. But I think that was a benefit, because it meant that sometimes when you're co-writing with people and you're all in the same room, you start filtering yourself. You put up, you know, your whakamā comes into play, and you're like, oh, I've got an idea, but maybe it stink, I don't want to say it, and you start second guessing yourself. But when you're just in your own space and you've got your mate's wicked idea that he sent through, and you can just chill and just be creatively open and not kind of have the pressure of being in a foreign space that's not yours, like a studio or whatever, and B, having other people around hearing your ideas as they're happening. I think that was one benefit, was being kind of having the safety of being alone to work out the ideas. But yeah, so I just think it's different. I think writing individually is just by nature different to writing with other people in the same room, and that can be a pro or a con depending on how you look at it. But I think for that project it was perfect, because I think the song sounds like what it is, like a song that was written in different little bubbles, and everyone's vocals sound different because they had to record them with whatever means they had at their disposal. And yeah, I think that's what's cool about that song.
Yeah, there's a question here actually about when collaborating under the COVID restrictions, what is the preferred digital platform software for rehearsal, performance, recording, when you're thinking about things like latency? Like right now I would love to say, and now everybody's going to sing, but we know, having whānau, just so you know, we all tried to sing Te Rongotoa Happy Birthday before this broadcast started, and you'll be glad it wasn't live streamed, as are we, because it was fail.
It was amazing.
I know people who have been really trying hard to find the right platform, and I don't know of one. So if anyone knows of one that you can do that stuff with no latency, let us all know, because I haven't heard of one yet.
Well, so there are lots of requests for someone to sing. So, Rob, can we have a sample of Stay? Or we can head over to Anna. I'm not sure how we'll do this, but let's try it.
Anna.
I don't have my guitar, and also I don't know the chords. What have you got your guitar, Rob?
Nah.
Wish we need Joel. Okay. Okay, here we go. It might be a minute till I see your face, and you know I miss it, but we'll be okay if we stay. Taku aroha I kai momo too, but I know we'll do it, I know we'll get through if we stay. Yeah, Ria!
I miss my brothers, I miss my sisters, but we're in this together, staying apart for each other.
Da, 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 da. Stay with me, ooh, Aotearoa, whakakotahira.
Mo ngā moko puna, mo ngā whakareanga.
Aotearoa, whiti ki maranga ki a ora, tawa tahi ki a ora, ora. What's next? With a little bit of passion, a little dedication, we're gonna be alright, we're gonna be alright. Stay with me. Eggs.
Together. Why don't you
stay with me? He tanga manawa, kia kia taiwa.
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Look, who needs flash technology when you can just count? And sing in tune. That no auto tune there, whānau. Just lovely.
Kua makona.
Oh. Yes, let's head up to Te Kokonga mō kua makona.
Come on, Te Aoki, sing us kua makona.
Can't hear anything. Sorry, my connection's down. Internet is down.
Not receiving. I might come back to some of these pātai just because people have taken the time to ask them, and it'd be great if we can get them all in. This is a really interesting one. Are any of you getting paid for your online performances? And if so, knowing that costs aren't the same thing as touring, are your fees considerably less? Well, this is a full-on question. And by what percentage? That's like, can I go through your laundry and look at your undies? Let's maybe just start with the first part of that question. Are any of you getting paid for your online performances, and how does that work? Ria.
Matu.
60 Saturdays.
No, I'm not getting paid. Bloody hell! But but it gives me something to do, and I miss the fan connection, and it's an investment of sorts. I think you'll be able to I just keep playing music, and when this is all done, we can all get back to normality and we can start charging for shows again.
If anyone has questions around funding and around access to funding, obviously there's the wage subsidy from WINS that you're entitled to. There's emergency relief grants. If you go to Creative New Zealand's website, they've just opened a funding round, which I think closes June 20th, with lots of different types of funding that you may be eligible for. Also, Anna was talking about Music Helps earlier, which is offering not just financial support, but actually also emotional support and well-being support services. And there will be Te Māngai Pāho, I think, has got a round open. New Zealand On Air just closed a round, but if you head to some of these pages, like Te Kahui Tau, which is a page for Māori musicians on Facebook as part of APRA, all of those resources can be found if you just do a little bit of digging. We'll come to another pātai, and this is for anybody, actually. This is a really good question. What advice do you give to aspiring performing artists when wanting to make this a career? Mace.
I always just say, kia kaha, kia maia, kia manawa nui, roto i o mahi katoa mahia. If it's inside of you, it will just come out. So you just keep following it, find that which really burns that desire inside of you, and just write, and don't censor yourself, and just do it, and just keep following those instincts and those passions, and then surround yourself with people that are on the same wavelength, that will support you. I also like to tell people that there is plenty of aroha out there for everybody's waiata. There's always someone out there that will resonate. So yeah, kia kaha.
Anybody else want to answer that question?
Yeah, that was the kōrero that Maisie gave me, that there is enough aroha in the world for everyone's music, for everyone's waiata. And I think a lot of times, I know the barrier for me stepping into this mahi was comparisons, and comparing yourself to someone else, comparing your style to someone else, measuring yourself against other people's contributions, successes, and thinking that if yours don't align to that, thinking that there's no room in the world for that. So I think that it was that one comment from Maisie to me that allowed me to sleep all of those maharahara, and allowed me to just be me in this space. And I think that's super important to know, to understand, and to fully embrace, is to just be you, and you is enough. And then to be the best you that you can ever be. And if that means shooting for the stars, then shoot for the stars. If that means just writing in your bedroom, then write the meanest jams in your bedroom. And yeah, koina taku tautoko i ngā kōrero a Maisie.
I'd like to add to that. Oh, yes, no, good. Well, I think just as an aspiring artist myself, one of the kōrero that's resonated with me from this wānanga here actually was going off what Mati said, falling in love with the process and not with the results. And I feel like it deserves to be mentioned and actually dissected as well, because, we're in a new day and age now where our rangatahi are on social media apps. And I guess the result of that is finding validation from likes and comments and your results on social media. I think it also contributes to what Rob was saying along the lines of comparison and comparing your results to someone else's. And I think that's one of the worst things you can do. It's also a timely reminder as well that by falling in love with that process, nothing else should really matter. I think once you get those results and everything like that kind of falls into place, some songs that you might have been close to your ngākau may not reach as far as songs that have been composed in 5 minutes. And I guess that's the difference, is that yes, the results may be different with what you might see on social media, but it's actually your connection to that song process and to that waiata that will encourage you to continue on. But yes, sorry, that's all I wanted to add on to that. And I'm now going to throw it to Whānau.
Well, we've got another pātai here, which is quite a fabulous one. It's very specific. For a rōpū looking to make a revival, what is the best and safest way for whānau to enter the music realm who've been out for approximately 30 years? Looking to bring back some of us late 1980 favourites from Porirua and bring out new material. So for someone who's been, maybe out of this kind of zone for a while, what are some tips for coming back into that?
What do they want to do? Do they want to perform live? Do they want to do an album? Because I would suggest, if you've got some real old school stuff, try and find someone who's a pretty good producer, if that's what you want to do, if you want to release an album. I suppose at the end of the day, every question, and I was picking up with what Rob and Fede were saying, every issue should have a why wrapped around it. Why are you doing this? Why is this important? And it is being authentic in what you do, and it is about not comparing yourself to anyone. I mean, when I first started singing, hey, my contemporaries were Annie Crummer and Betty Ann Munga. I mean, you could develop a serious complex by hanging out with those two, and I used to. And then I thought, okay, let's just suck it up here. I'm not the flashiest singer in the world. What do I have that I can bring to the game? Why do I want to do this? Why? And then I find my niche. I find something, not deliberately to set myself apart from them, but where I'm really comfortable and where it's challenging for me. And I think that's a question that needs to always be asked, because it's easy to get caught up in spotlights and fame, like Petey alluded to. This is such a selfie, me, narcissist kind of era that we're going through. And you can use the tools that we have now for something useful and productive, or you can get sucked into a whole different kind of a matrix. So it's quite challenging. And also I think not allowing other people to define you and your career and even what Māori music is, because as you've alluded to, Tama, we are diverse. So you need to be comfortable about who you are. And maybe that is an age thing. That's a space that you get to, and perhaps that's perfect at this group that was popular or was doing something in the 80s is now thinking, hell yeah, I'm going to make a comeback now. I mean, some of that retro stuff is like, whoa, my son who's quite young, he's like knocking out all this blimmin' Engelbert and Tom Jones Carry On Late at Night. What's this, Mum? It's so cool. I'm thinking, yeah, that was really cool. So there's probably a lot of value in that, and I would encourage them.
Yes, well, I can attest from the thriving metropolis of Kaiti that the 80s is still very popular in our rohe and in our neighbourhood. I hear it regularly also in the early hours of the morning.
Do you mind if I jump in on this one?
Yes, jump in.
I love the conversations about the comparisons. It's something that a creative person will always struggle with. I always say to myself that my just being here is amazing enough, and I'm unique by nature. So literally anything that comes out of my mouth is the first time that phrasing and that tone and those words have been uttered in the history of the universe. And that has a lot of power and gives me a lot of, mana when I'm being creative. But more specifically to this person's question, what are you waiting for would be my answer to that. Don't wait for anything. It sounds like the question itself is putting up, you're getting in your own way. I'd say just write the song, do the thing, do the mahi, put it out, and then act first before worrying about the consequences, and then perhaps the path will seem a lot easier to you. Yeah.
And that's
the beautiful thing about music, doesn't discriminate. Doesn't matter how old you are, but the songs just keep coming. You just go with them. Yeah. We know.
And that seems like a really good place to leave our kōrero today. I can certainly vouch for, having had a bit of a break from the recording side of things. I think the last release I had was 2013. This time I've jumped right back in, probably like many of you, to that creative space and thinking about, sometimes it's like looking through old treasure chests and rediscovering, songs that have been completely forgotten about. And I know Maze and I the other night had a zinu, and we were sharing our little demos back and forth. And I think now more than ever is a time for people to really be brave and be courageous in your creativity and to reach out. Someone's asked here about collaboration. How could someone else collaborate with anyone in this rōpū? And, there's great merits to stalking within reason. But on a serious note, Moana touched on it before, a lot of people have representation or are self-managed, and you can access them through their Facebook pages or artist pages. Oh, Facebook, old. But I just need to do a few little shout outs today. We've been streaming live through Tūranga FM, Te Kārere, TVNZ's Re-Youth channel. Need to acknowledge Creative New Zealand, Te Māngai Pāho, and of course APRA AMCOS. Big mihi to Hinewehi Mohi, who brought us all together for this kaupapa. I know that a lot of you will be watching with great interest at 11:58 p.m. tonight as we move into 11:59 p.m. To all our beautiful panelists today, tēnei te mihi aroha kia koutou, ko hara mai nei, I tō koutou aroha I horahia mai ki muia mātou. Anō reira, tēnā koutou ngā kaitito waiata me ngā kaipuoro hoki. Tēnei te mihi aroha kia koutou. And to all of you out there, if you're wanting additional information or resources or have extra pātai, go check out Te Kāhui Tau Facebook page, which is APRA AMCOS New Zealand page. Go check out Creative New Zealand's page. You can email them directly, COVID-19 response at creativenewzealand.govt.nz. And you can play this video back really slowly to get all of that information. Go check out Te Māngai Pāho, see what grants are coming up. I think the most important thing is just be brave, be kind, and be yourself. Anō reira e te iwi, tēnei te mihi aroha kia koutou, e te whanaunga. Can you close us out, please?
Kei nui tātou. Terei ne whete te tau kahara whakatūwhera bai ngā kua ho te tika o te pono te ora, te māramatanga ki a mātou pono ngai tēnei wā, ma mātou no ki koe whakamoemiti. Whakakrore ki tau ingoa tapu. Amen.
Amine.
Woo!
Amine, kia ora e te iwi. Tēnā